Hey, hi community. So today we will discuss about performance testing and types of it, and also we will see how can we use bit of performance testing by manual approach. Okay, so let's start with it. So firstly, we have to understand how many type of performance testing we will be having. This is non-functional testing. So let's see. Yeah. So we have majorly these 5 type of testing, like soak testing, stress testing, spike testing, volume testing, and load testing. Okay, so in performance testing, generally we use to measure the stability of the product and the response of the product. Okay, response in the sense what? Response will be basically a time or the limit or whatever will be the response we wanted to see. Suppose if we are testing some API, so how API is performing, how much time it is taking to retrieve the data and all. Okay, so that will be under the response. And stability is like how much, like at what extent system is stable for the required load that we are trying to put in. Okay, so let's understand the part of the performance testing. So as you understand, like what is performance testing? Performance testing are mostly determining the product and the quality, right? So that is basically a performance testing. Yeah. So take another example. I have also put all those things under this blog, so you will be able to check all these things. Okay. So we will also take the example from here that I have already described and kept here, but we will discuss again. So firstly, we have to see what is soak testing. So soak testing is nothing. It is mostly like carries a load for longer time. So again, suppose let's understand through the example. Suppose this is a mobile phone or something. Okay, some one device, random device, suppose Kindle or any mobile device or any Alexa device, whatever you consider. So for that, suppose it is taking only the 10 users at a time. Suppose it is only able to take it, right? But we don't know the bandwidth, like how much it will take. Okay, or and suppose let's leave this. Let's understand in such a way. Yeah, so let's understand in a such real time example. Suppose we have a web application. Okay, this is a web application, and if we have put some 100 stuffs in the cards. Okay, so once we have put the 100 stuffs in the cards, then we don't know, like suppose if for how much time it will be able to be there, and it will whenever we will be coming, suppose we are coming after 30 days or not, whether it will be there or not, we are not sure, right? So for that sake, we will be testing by putting some amount of load, we will be testing that time period, and we will be checking the functionality, we will be checking the performance actually, whether we are able to see the particular data at a time or not whenever we are coming back. For that sake, we will be saying as a soak testing. So that's what the definition also describes here. It carries a load for longer period of time. Okay, so that's what the soak testing. Again, suppose this is a add to cart. Okay, you have put the 100 things here. Okay, you are coming after 1 month, and again you are refreshing, logging, and everything you are doing, and you should be able to see the 100 cart should be there, 100 products should be there in cart, and this should work without any issue. So that will be considered as a mostly soak testing. Okay, so what will be the stress testing? So let's see. First, the small definition is load on a system until it fails, but fails is not exactly under the stress, it is a part of scalability. So let's see. Suppose let's take example of mobile phone again. Let's not take only e-com. So this is a mobile phone. Okay, like 10 callers can call on this, and you can suppose you can have a conference only with the 10 callers. That is the required load, that is the ideal load actually, but you don't know at what extent it can go, right? So ideal load, someone has specified only 10 users is the ideal load, rest stress testing you can do it. So what you will do, you will be gradually increasing the loads, right? 12, 13, 14, like that you will be adding the members into the conference call, and you will be going to an extent. So that will be mostly a stress testing. But if this extent is going till the, suppose you have done 100 members you have added in a conference call, this comes under scalability testing. Why? Because suppose you are adding the 100 members, and at that time the phone got crashed, or the battery got off, or it got switched off, or something happened. So at that time it will be considered as an scalability testing. So that is the approach of stress testing moves towards the scalability. Okay, so that is the stress and scalability. Rest is spike testing. So sudden increase and decrease. So we'll take this in a reference of network mostly. So we'll mostly, in a general scenario, we mostly see the spike suddenly in the networks, right? Until unless we will not do any marketing campaign or something for any product, we will not see any sudden increase in the product. Okay, so you have this website again. Okay, suppose you know that my daily active users are 30 at a time. Okay, so you are chill about it. Okay, yeah, nothing will happen. But suppose some cyber attack happens, or something happened, or some bunch of people who may hit your product or something, they may come in a chunk. Like they might come as in like 1,000 people have come on your platform on a particular time. Okay, so at that time there is a high possibility the system might get crashed, because your infra is not like that, right? You have given some kind of volume, some kind of space, or something you have given. So as per the load of 30, but 1,000 users handling at the same time, your system might not handle that. So for ensuring that, we basically do a spike testing. So that's why we see the sudden load. So we can manage the sudden load. For that sake, we used to do the spike testing. This is already written example that I have mentioned on the blog as well. So here, like, increase the database size and flood with the data, that is called and comes under volume testing. So suppose you have a database where 300 catalog entries are there. Suppose you have a e-com again. Suppose you have a e-com where 300 catalog products are there. Now again you are adding the 100 catalog, okay, in database. So with those 1300, you have to test your volume testing, whether you are suppose your data is almost nearby 99% or something, at almost your database has been filled and there is no space left and all, but your system should not get crashed, or nothing should happen, and it should work smoothly despite the database is almost full. So for all those things we ensure under volume testing. We also call it as flood testing. So that is volume testing. Okay. Another, let's see the load example. The load is the simple, like you will have some ideal or some kind of load will be provided to you. So at that time you will test with that load. Okay. So suppose here again the 5 is the ideal load, but you know that your system can handle the 200 users at a time. So you will also slowly increase, and until 200, like you can test with the 200, till that you can slowly increase the load and test and check the stability and the response of the page. Okay, so that is basically a load testing. So these are the 5 type of testings. So manual steps are nothing. So how to perform manual testing? Yeah, so there are few restricted things you can do through the tools, automated tools. So like you should have a proper documentation and exact load, understand the functionality of the system, then only you can test it, understand the backend of the system, then only you can ensure that like which thing should work properly, which is taking time, right? So measure the time. So suppose like you are testing one in another browser and one is some different browser, and then suppose here your a volume or any system is taking 3 seconds, or your API is taking 3 seconds, here it is taking 4 seconds. So that is the difference. You have to measure the manually, you have to measure time differences as well on a different environment. I said like this is first browser and this is second browser, whatever you can consider as in Chrome or Safari. And ideal, like this is ideal way of doing time and all, you have to check that. So like suppose, as I said, suppose you know one API should take only 4 seconds, right? Suppose that is taking for due to some circumstance it is taking 6 seconds. So despite the environment, like environment is same, but sometimes it's taking 4 and sometimes it is taking 6. So time can be different. Maybe you are testing this in the morning and this in the evening. So load and all can be different. So these all things you can measure it like maybe manually and make a note of it and create a report and all. So yeah, so these all few limited things you can test for the performance. Rest all the things comes under rest all the things, all the type of testing we can do through the tools only. So mostly widely used tools in the market are JMeter and LoadRunner, and despite there are other as well. JMeter is the most widely used one, where you have to put the request and all, and then you will have some graphical structure, table structure, all the seconds, minutes, all the deviation point, throughput point, everything will be here. So JMeter is the most widely used. LoadRunner may have the license, I guess. So you can choose it. There are ultimate videos about it, so you can go on YouTube and check it about JMeter, or I'll find some video and keep in the description. Sorry. So yeah, so that is mostly, but moreover the performance sake is only these 5 type of testing we majorly do in organizations, and finding the stability and measuring the responses. Responses, like it can be anything, like maybe from status codes to time to anything. So stability of the product and response of the product, that we majorly capture it and then make a proper report around it, and then we define it and then we prioritize it, which thing we have to look, which thing we have to optimize. So those all things is the main purpose of the performance testing under any kind of soak, stress, a volume, a load, any type of testing you perform. Okay, so yeah, that's it guys. Thank you so much.